Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma and I'm so excited that you clicked on today's video. I have something really exciting planned today and I've never done any sort of book YouTube video or anything like that before. If you follow my Instagram, you know that I've become a big reader in the past 2.5 years. So I thought that I'd bring my love for books over to YouTube and do a fun little video of seeing how many books I can read in 24 hours. So how this is gonna work is I have my stack of books here, which I will share the titles and genres with you later. But I'm gonna have a stopwatch set up on my phone, which I'm filming on, and every time I pick up my book to read, I'm going to continue that stopwatch until we reach 24 hours. And audiobooks do count. I know some people are like, that's not reading, but I don't care. I consider it reading. And so let's just get into all the books that we have for this challenge. And really quick, one more thing to note about me is that I am a big library girl. I don't own hardly any books. I just feel like I read so much that if I were to be buying books, I would be literally broke. And also, I just don't have the amount of storage to have an entire bookshelf and library. So I just think it's a cheaper and easier way to be a book lover. And then if I want to reread a book, I can just get it again. So all my books are from the library. But anyway, let's just get into it. So the first book we have is Happy Place by Emily Henry. And I actually reserved this for my trip that I had to Florida. I was reading Birds of California and I was like, oh, I'll finish this in like 3 days. I was spending so much time with my friends and we didn't have a lot of like hot sunny days where we would just sit out. So I have this one left and I know it's not summer, but I know that by the time summer hits, this book will be highly requested at the library and I probably will have to wait weeks to get my hands on it. So I think I'm just gonna include this in the challenge, whatever. A little bit about it, it's like, I believe it's about this like college friend group that after college they meet up every year and go on vacation together, and then like 2 of the people were dating in college and then they broke up but didn't tell anyone. So I don't know if they're like pretending that they're still together or like what's the deal, I don't really know, but everyone says that they love this book and I have read a few Emily Henry books that I do really like, so I'm excited about this one. All right, the next one we have here is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther, and this is another book that I was going to bring to Florida and I just didn't get around to reading it, but it's a YA romance book and I've heard a lot of good things about it. I haven't heard anyone say it's a 5-star book for them, but I still want to read it and it looks so pretty and so colorful, and like these 2 covers are like totally me, the summer happy colorful pink vibe. I don't really know much about this, but it says it's all fun and games until someone loses their heart. I don't know, I'm really excited to get to read this one as well. Okay, and the next book we have is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've read quite a few of her books actually, and only one of them I gave 5 stars, which is Malibu Rising. But I also read Maybe in Another Life, One True Loves, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I've also read half of Daisy Jones and the Six and I just hated that. And I know it's such a popular book, but I really just hated it. And those are all I can think of these books. So I really do enjoy her books. They're more literary, romance, adult novels. So yeah, I thought I would pick this up. Don't really know what it's about. So it kind of seemed like it's about these 2 people who are married and they just completely fell out of love and they're like, they've tried everything. And so like their last resort is to have 1 year like completely apart. And the only rule is they don't talk to each other. So I guess it's like, see if they can fall in love back with each other after a year to like work on themselves. So I'm really curious to see what this is about, and I do really enjoy her books and her writing, so that's one of them. And then the next one we have is The Grace Year, but I also don't really know what it's about. So it is a YA book and it kind of seems like it's like a dystopian, not necessarily fantasy, but like a different world, kind of like the Hunger Games. There's like this certain year that it's called the Grace Year, and that one is like where they're like able to be ready for marriage, I guess. I don't really know, but I've heard a lot of good things about this book and I'll kind of let you know like a little bit, obviously without any spoilers, about what these books are about while I'm reading them. I want to go into them a little bit blind. I don't want to like know exactly what I'm reading about, but yes, we also have The Grace Year. Okay, and the next 2 books that I have here are a duology by one of my favorite authors, which is Jennifer Lynn Barnes. She writes the Inheritance Game series and she also writes the Natural series, and I've read both of those. All of the books in those series were a 5-star for me. I absolutely love them. They're like, she has her own genre of books. It's like mystery and thriller, but like games and puzzles where it's not scary, but it's just interesting. I don't know. I would say Jennifer Lynn Barnes has her own genre of books. But this is the Debutante series, and at the library they have the old cover for the first one, which is Little White Lies, and I'll put a picture here of what the new one looks like, and you've probably seen it before. But it's basically like rich people drama is what I've heard of, but also like some mystery. I think there's some murder in it, like a lot of high society secrets, lies, that type of stuff. So this is the first one in it, and then I also picked up the second one, Deadly Little Scandals, and like, I don't know why, but this just reminds me of Pretty Little Liars, so I'm curious to see if it's a little bit like that series. So yeah, these are two that we also have here. And then another one that I have that is not quite ready for me yet at the library, but that I've been reading is Divine Rivals, and I've heard so much about this book, and so far it's pretty good. I've gotten about a third in, and I do really like the characters, and so I'm really excited to continue it. So once it's ready, I will have the physical copy, but I will also be going kind of like back and forth with an audiobook if I have some time where I have to do some cleaning or errands or whatever, and I want to listen to a book. That way it can still count for my timer. And then another book that I do have is If He Had Been With Me. Here's a picture of the cover, and it's almost ready for me at the library as well. It's a YA romance book, but I've heard that it's super deep and like sad, and I've heard it's so good and everyone gives it a really high rating. So that is another one of the books that I could be potentially reading during this. Here are all of the books in this jar. I'm just gonna shake it up and I'm gonna pick one, and that is the one that I will start this challenge reading. Okay, we have a book here. Oh, Little White Lies. Okay, so we've got this one by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Is the first one in this little duology here. So I'm really excited to get to read this one, and I will definitely let you know how it's going. Okay, my reading timer has been going for about an hour and 15 minutes now, and so far it's pretty good. Only thing I will say is sometimes it can be really hard to understand because she's using like really big words and terms in this, but so far it's about like this girl, her name is Sawyer, and she grew up with just her mom in a very small town. They don't have a lot of money, and she is a teenager and works to help provide food and stuff for her mom, and her mom is kind of like absent a lot, and she like has very poor choices in men, and so she just kind of is on her own. And so then one day her super rich grandma comes to her and is like, hey, like, I have this like little contract that you can sign that you can live with me and stay for a while. And she's like, you have to, you know, be involved in like debutante things and like dress the way I tell you to, like have polite manners, all of this stuff. And then like Sawyer's mom does something that upsets her, and then she's like, yeah, I'll go, whatever. So then she like writes in some of her own like things like, oh, I'm cutting out this thing and this thing and this thing, and then she decides to go. And then she meets like her family and her cousins, and it's like very high society, like debutante events and things like that. And there's just like a lot of like tea and secrets and stuff, and like the way that the family interacts and like different families interact with each other. And then there's also like this sub thing of like in the future that something happened that you're trying to figure out about. So yeah, that's like not spoiling anything at all. It's just like the first 50 pages of the book so far. And yeah, it's pretty good. Good morning, you guys. It's the next day. I'm still in this crew neck because I actually slept with it. So I don't really have much going on today. I have work at 4:30. And so I think I'm just gonna like get ready for the day. I have to do some laundry. I have to unpack for my trip still. So I think what I'm gonna do is put on my Divine Rivals audiobook, just kind of listen through that. I didn't get to reading anymore last night because I got home pretty late. So yeah, I'm gonna put on my audiobook, get ready, do my laundry, do all the things, and take you guys with me, of course. Okay, a little update. I did my laundry, got ready for the day, got dressed, all of that as you saw, and I listened to about half an hour of my audiobook, and so now I'm about almost 4 hours into an 11-hour audiobook, and it's pretty good so far. I'm really enjoying it. So I just have some downtime now. It's just me and the puppies here at home. Rocky's chilling here. And so I think I'm just gonna continue reading the Little White Lies book and hopefully get through this as much as I can today. Okay, it's the next day and I thought I would give you guys a little reading update. So I have been reading this book in like small segments, and today I just sat down and I read a whole bunch of it. And so I only have 100 pages left, and before I was like, this is not as good as like her other books, and I still agree. That is Rocky snoring. He's very loud. I still agree on that, but it wasn't as page turning as I thought it would be. And then I got to the last quarter of the book, which is like the last 150 pages, and it starts getting really good, and the story starts really picking up, and there's a lot of like mini plot twists in this book, which I really like. I'm almost 7 hours in, and that's not all this book because I did listen to the Divine Rivals audiobook for some time. Probably update you when I finish this book. But oh, you guys, I'm sitting here eating my breakfast because I have to work soon, and I've been reading so I could try to finish my book. I literally have 30 pages left of this book, and I have to stop reading because I have to get ready for work, and I just want to know what happens. Okay, hello you guys. I am back from work. My first shift ended, and now I have my second one coming up in about an hour. So let's finish this book. I had to come upstairs because the dogs were being literally so loud and obnoxious. So I'm here in my room, and I'm gonna finish off this book in my room, and then we're gonna pick the next one. I finished! Yay! I really wish that I could explain more about this book, but I can't tell this story because, or even a lot from it, because it's one of those books where like everything you learn builds off of that, and then you learn new things. So it's like I can't really tell you like what the story is about without telling you too much. Right now, I would say this book is a 4-star or above for me. I'm not gonna fully say that because I have to sit and let myself digest the book a little bit to see how I actually feel after a day or whatever. And I forgot to say that when I finish this book, my timer is at 7 hours and 40 minutes. So pretty good for the first book and a couple hours of Divine Rivals. So now it's time to pick our next book. Okay, the next book is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I feel like I fly through her books pretty fast. I have to go into work in about 45 minutes, so that gives me some time to start this book. Okay, I've been reading this book for about 20 minutes now, and I am on page 20, and so far it's really good. It starts off with this couple, Lauren and Ryan, and they're like arguing a lot, and they've been in this argumentative season, is that even a word? Argumentative season in life, and it's been like that for a while, and then it like jumps back to when they first met and started dating in college, and like how things were great and things were perfect, and like the way that they interacted with each other is completely different. And so I think it's going to be a book where we get like the present day and then the past, and then kind of like see how it got to that point of like low-key hating each other. Gotta go to my second shift of work right now, and hopefully I have time to read tonight. If not, definitely tomorrow. Quick update, I did go to the library and get the 2 books that are ready for me. So we have Divine Rivals, and I'm halfway through this in the audiobook, but I did want the physical copy. And then the next one I have is If He Had Been With Me. I'm really excited about this one. People say it's really good. I just got in my car and I was just ready to go to visit my boyfriend Levi in college, and I just pulled up YouTube to find my audiobook of Divine Rivals, and it's not in my recents, and I'm like, what? And so I keep going down, and there was like videos that I watched weeks ago, and I'm like, where is Divine Rivals? And so I look it up, and the audiobook I was listening to is no longer on YouTube, and there's no full audiobook of Divine Rivals on YouTube. I'm assuming it just got taken off, and I was really looking forward to knocking out 2 hours on the trip there and 2 hours on the way back, and then finishing the physical copy, but I guess that's not happening. So maybe I'll find another audiobook to listen to on the way there. I'll keep you posted. Okay, hey guys, I'm back from my weekend trip. It was a lot of fun, and I honestly didn't have that much time to read, and I found If He Had Been With Me of the audiobook on YouTube, and so I listened to about 1 hour of it on the way there and then 2 hours on the way back. And so I'm about this far in. I'm a little past a third on After I Do,
And with Divine Rivals, since I stopped at the audiobook, I haven't read anything since, and I'm almost halfway through this one. So I'm kind of in the same place on every single one of these books. And so I think I'm going to continue to read the physical copy of after I do finish this one and then read one of these. That's where I am reading. I'm about 13 hours and 30 minutes in, so around halfway. If You Had Been With Me is about these two. It starts with them in middle school, and they are like childhood best friends. Their moms are like the best of friends, and they grew up together, and it's just how like time and growing up and stuff has like changed their friend dynamic. She is in a new group of friends, he is another group of friends, like still friends in a way but not really, and it's just awkward, and they like are growing up, and it's like going through their high school years, and they're each in their own relationships. It's really good so far. And then Divine Rivals, they're magical typewriters. These two people are enemies, and she like puts the letter in her wardrobe and it just like sends away, and then this random guy gets them and starts writing back, and we find out in the book that this guy is Iris's sworn enemy from work, and he knows that it's Iris, but she doesn't know that it's him, and like they're competing for the same like job opportunity. So it's really good so far. And there's also this like whole world. It's not a fantasy book, but there is like there are like the gods in this, and so there's like a war between the gods, and it's like to be honest, I really could care less about like the gods and the legends and like whatever. I'm more interested in like the characters and like more of the war rather than like the stories of the gods, you know. But I know that some people would find that really interesting, and to be honest, I don't really care that much. But I'll keep you updated on the loop of things. I really didn't have a lot of time to read since I last updated you, but I've been listening to the If You Had Been With Me audiobook on YouTube, and I am now past halfway. So I just have this much left, and I really like this book. It's really interesting, like reading the story and like seeing how they like develop as people, and like I love the friend group dynamic in this book too, and just like the realities of like growing up, and like it just reminds me of like when I was in high school and like the things like my friends talked about and cared about and stuff. Okay, update. I have about 50 pages left of this book. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like the ending of this book. Like, I don't know how it's gonna end, and I hope that I like it. There's another book by Taylor Jenkins Reid that I read, and it was like she had to make a big decision, and I really wanted her to make the other one. And like, I ended up rating the book lower because I wanted her to make the other decision. So not sure how this book is going to end, but I really hope she makes the decision that I want her to make. I finished the book. Ugh, I have so many thoughts right now. I'm happy with the way it ended. I'm not going to say what it is. I think she made like the best choice for her. As far as the rating, I still have to like digest this book a little more. I still have to like really process it, but it's definitely not a 5-star book for me. There's just some things that I really didn't agree with, or like didn't like, or things that like the book was trying to give as like advice that I was like, I don't agree with that. But I did really enjoy this book, and I liked how it really made you feel things, not just about like the relationship, but about like moments in life, about like loss, and about like feeling alone, and about like feeling okay. And it just, I want to say so much more without spoiling it, but yeah, there were some lines in it that I was like, oh, that's so good. Like, I really like that. Yeah, I'm really happy that I finished this book. I am exactly 19 hours in. Okay, it is like half an hour later. I'm all ready for bed, but I'm like in such a reading mood, and it's bad. because is it 11 o'clock and do I need to go to bed? Yes. But am I gonna sit down and read a few chapters of this book? Also yes. I just had a crazy part in this book. I'm in shock. But I also kind of predicted it, but I didn't think it would actually happen. I'm gonna continue reading. In just a few sentences it got crazier. What the heck? I hate this person. Hate this person. I'm like so mad right now. I'm so mad. Slay. I love this girl. I read way more than 3 chapters and I need to go to bed, but I hit a point where I really don't want to stop reading. And I'm so close to the end. Okay, I have to go to sleep. Good night, guys. Something crazy just happened in this book. I'm tearing up. I can't say what it is. This is so sad. I finished the book. The last page is one of those where you don't know what's actually happening. So heartbreaking, but beautiful. I can't describe it. I need to process for a second. You guys have to read this book. It's so good. I'm sad because I want to keep reading. There's a second one. I totally forgot. I think it was just released. I'm immediately ordering it from the library right now. So that completes our 3rd book of this challenge. If you had been with me, and I am at 20 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, I've been reading for about an hour and this book is so good. I'm gonna continue reading, even though I should probably go to bed soon, but I'm gonna continue reading because I have to know what happens. And I have less than 100 pages left and 2 hours left of this challenge. You guys, I officially finished the 24 hours of reading. Woo! Put the little screenshot right here of the 24-hour mark, and I'm so excited. So I'm not finished with Divine Rivals yet, but I only have 20 pages. 20 pages. So I'm just gonna keep reading. I'm sorry, Luna. I'm so sorry. I just scared her so bad. Giving me a side eye. Look at her. I'm sorry, Luna. I'm sorry. So I finished the book. So good. Ended on a cliffhanger, and I know that there's a second one. Now I have to know what happens. Oh, this book is so good. Easily 5 stars. Easily 5 stars. Okay, let's talk about all the books that I read in this 24-hour challenge. Kind of review them, how I'm feeling about them now, what are my thoughts. First, we started off with Little White Lies. It's the first in the Debutante series. And before I said that I would give this a 4, maybe a 4 point something, to be honest, I can't remember that much that happened in this book. It's not really memorable. I don't think about it often. There was parts of it that were crazy and twisty and everything, but I don't know if it's just that I had higher expectations for this. I don't know. But right now I would say it's like 3.5 feels too low, but 4 feels too high. We're gonna go with 3.7 stars. Next book that I read is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And this is one that I really, really enjoyed. I would say it's my second favorite book that she's written after Malibu Rising. I wouldn't say it's a 5-star for me. There's just like some things that I didn't like about this that kind of irked me. I feel like there's a little bit of that in like every single one of her books that I've read, where there's just like something that just makes me mad or like stops me from giving it a higher rating. And I can't say what it is without spoiling the book. But it was like certain choices that they made and in the story that I was like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And then they did it and it just made me really mad. And then yes, but this was the ending that I was rooting for in this story, was the ending. I felt very passionate about this and I was like, it has to be this way. Like, I'm not going to say what it is, but I felt really passionate about the way it would end. And if it didn't end this way, I was going to give it like a 2-star. Maybe not a 2-star, but I'm just glad it ended this way. So I'm going to give this a solid 4 stars. 4 stars. And then the third book that I completed in this challenge is If He Had Been With Me. And I loved this book, where there's some things that were super realistic and super like relatable and usually aren't written in books. Yes. Where there's some things that were like very unrealistic that I'm like, okay, this is like whatever. Yes. Also yes. But I absolutely loved this. There were parts where I was like, I feel like I talked about this a little bit, where it just like felt very YA, like too much. And then I was like, oh, whatever, like earlier on in the book when they were in middle school. And then there was parts where I was like, this isn't a YA book. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, it was like very, very deep, very sad. It just like really made you feel. Like, it really made me feel something. And yeah, I didn't know. One thing I will say that I wish that it had more of is more of an ending. I felt like it was kind of rushed, and then it's just like random things that we got at the end, and I'm like, I need a little more. I need a little more. But there is a second one, and it was like just released, and this was written years ago. So I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if we're going to get more of an ending. I don't know if the next book is like a continuation of what's going on in this, or if it's just a different point of view or whatever. But yeah, I really liked this book. I can't stop thinking about this book, and there was things that I didn't love about it, and then there's things that I wish that were different. But I'm gonna give this a 5-star. I'm gonna give it a 5-star. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then last but not least, we have Divine Rivals. It was so good. A 5-star read. Definitely recommend. At the beginning, like the first half of the book, I was like, okay, like I get why people like this. Like, this is such a different concept, such a different thing, whatever. The second half of the book, you guys, I was so busy, but I could not wait to have time to read. It was just so beautifully written, and I love the characters. Oh, it was just so good. It was so good. This is like a 5-star book for me. Hands down 5 stars. And I can't wait to read the second one. But yes, these are the books that I completed in my 24-hour challenge. I read 3.5 books. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I definitely had fun filming it. And let me know if you want to see another 24-hour reading challenge or another book related video, maybe some recommendations, talking about my favorite books, talking about different genres, all that type of stuff. So yeah, that is the end. And don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on my other social media platforms, and they're all linked down below. And I will have all of these books up on my Amazon storefront in case you are interested in purchasing them. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.